Good afternoon, Spoctor.
Nice to meet you.
Me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I am going to go to lunch with my mother around 1, so give me for
Yeah.
about 45 minutes or so.
Oh, nice.
all
That should be
right.
plenty of time.
Shit, no, don't you fucking start now. Fucking scam calls, no. Turn off my phone real quick. No, sorry.
Jesus.
Turn on phone, immediate scam call. We wanted to notify you about your
I'm here to
extended
call
car's
you.
warranty.
About your extended warranty.
Anyway, so first and foremost, we're as proper introductions are in order. I don't think we've met
Yes.
officially. I'm
No,
Aaron
I'm not.
Tempest.
I'm not. Hi.
So and like my partners in crime, Dio and Yoon.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, I am Spoctor, Reptile,
Mm-hmm.
YouTube.
Yeah.
All right.
This was telling me you guys had some stuff you wanted to fill me in on. Because I
Yeah.
might do a little follow-up
Mhm.
video on my, not
Mhm.
most recent video, but the video before that.
Yeah. Because the three of us have been kind of like following, is like the fallout essentially of Heaton's video. So no, for our purposes, would you be okay if we had this call recorded? So
I mean, no, that's fine. Fine
we
with
can have
me.
a record. All right. Because there are a couple of things that I need to ask you about actually.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So first of all, you're familiar with Yo-Yo 3639, right?
Okay, now.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they made a comment and it's like they made like an art drama rant. It was primarily like they left and they left the community. Basically they targeted specifically Junkie, Phagos, and you.
Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
following.
So there's one thing I needed to ask. Just for my personal record, did Yo-Yo ever apologize to you about that video?
Uh, Let me see their channel. Let me look at who that is.
You're
Is
not
this
gonna.
still around?
Yeah, they rebranded.
What was the video about?
Basically, I can link it to you so you can. Um, this is a re-upload, by the way.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I know. I do remember this. I do remember this. No, I don't believe I was ever really in contact with the individual
Mm-hmm.
prior or after that point.
Okay,
No, I've never received an apology, but I'm not too pressed about it.
we'll come back to that then.
Okay.
So as I've mentioned to you earlier, the fallout between Heaton and Junkie has like impacted a lot more than just those two. There was a giant like community wide schism that formed after that, and it took like 2 years to properly resolve.
Okay.
Yeah, we're still dealing with certain factions.
Oh my lord, that's insane.
Mm-hmm. So that's why it was very imperative that you understand when you
I think I've seen
when
a
you
little bit of that video. Yes.
mhm. You have to understand when you go into a topic, you really need to make sure that you like talk to people before you go head first.
I mean, I see your point.
Mm-hmm. Because um I know like you could have asked like Doodle about it. You could have asked Eaton directly beforehand too. Um especially considering the fact that like um you know like you kind of singled her out a bit.
Okay.
Especially with the context. I mentioned that the way that you presented the video, right? It kind of just ignores the context of what the situation is and more focusing on the tone. And I mentioned
Yeah,
how that
that
can
was kind
sound.
of the point of the criticism. Yeah.
Mhm.
But that wasn't. I wasn't trying to like make a big deal out of it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but as we intents and actualities are two different things.
Yeah. Yeah. We
So
talked
we've
about that.
mentioned, yeah, we talked about the comment that showed up on Heaton's video stuff like that. That I believe we mentioned it's like I believe we talked about the white lies thing.
Yeah, I've seen plenty of people talk about that. But
hmm
what's your input on that?
So for
I don't
my
believe you've spoken to me on it.
the white is like when you commented like these are white lies, like for like you should know full well the just like how fast it's like how fast a white lie can turn into something really big. For
Yeah,
example, the reason why I asked you about the Yo-Yo 3639 video was because without this video, Pentagon and Stories' accusations, which came later, wouldn't have had much ground to stand on. Because at the end of this video, Yo-Yo was like, "Oh, isn't it interesting that Spoctor is underage and very open about that fact, and yet still requests his like lewd images of his characters, which then one thing led to another, and well, you know how the story goes."
well, I mean that's fair of her to say.
hmm
I mean that's a valid criticism on their part, in my opinion. It just happened to butterfly effect into something worse. I wouldn't put all the blame on Yo-Yo for that. I
hmm
shouldn't have been doing that as a minor, so I don't see an issue with that.
True. However, the context of which that she had the screenshots, and it was the contest, which, for the record, you did specify you didn't want any not safe for work content
Yeah, no, I
on there.
didn't. Yeah.
So taking that out of context, it's like taking that out of context to present that as you did, though it's like there might have been a fair intent. What actually came up as a result of that was something far because I gotta specify.
Well,
I'm not against calling people out or having their actions like being held accountable. But when we're dealing with very serious allegations, accuracy is very important. You don't want to crucify someone for something they didn't do, which is which is why
I
we're
mean,
which is why we're having this dialogue right now. So we want to
what
make
does Yo-Yo have to do with that?
you see when
That
after
criticism, at least.
no, it was just an example because
Because
I know
it seems
that
like the
after
point you're
this,
making is that no matter the intention, the ends are ultimately the deciding factor of what you did being a bad thing, in which I would entirely disagree.
that's fair. We can agree to disagree on that
Uh,
point
I
because
entirely
like
disagree because I
this
believe
is
intent is very important.
mm-hmm,
I mean,
because it felt
if I could, in
Go
this
ahead.
case, just jumping back to the white lies part. In this case, Junkie's intent is kind of really clear on that front. His intent was he thought that he would receive heat.
Yeah, he was
Or,
throwing Heaton under the bus, and that's something
yeah.
I did state in the video.
And I would also like to just to reaffirm just definition wise, it wouldn't be considered a white lie because there was that intent behind it.
Oh,
Because
hang on. No, now you're making me look up the definition. Hang on.
okay,
uh. Oh, harmless. Oh, wait, hang on. I used the wrong word there.
yeah.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Like I could see from an outsider perspective, like in actuality, if we like divorce
I
it
thought
from
white lies was the
bigger picture.
opposite.
No.
Oh no, I'm just stupid. What the fuck? Hang on. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, white lies would not be the right word to use. My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I figured. Because a lot of
I thought
phrases
white
we
lies
use.
meant the opposite. Maybe we'll say black lies. How about that?
Stick to a regular lie.
Just regular
Yeah,
lies.
it's just a lie. It was just a lie. It was a
Yeah.
lie. I mean, that's kind of the main thing I was trying to say. I guess white lies would not have been the proper word to use. I didn't even realize when I put it in the script. I thought white lies meant something else. It goes to
And
show how good I know the English language sometimes.
You're an
even then,
American, it's fine.
if it like stopped that lie, if it was just that Junkie lied, if it stopped there, it would still be a shitty thing, but it probably wouldn't be as big. It's the fact that after that lie, it jumped to him giving this testimony to someone that was specifically seeking to make a video about Heaton, criticizing that, which made it even bigger because then other people such as Susie were being told by Junkie
Okay.
that oh no, Heaton never got permission. And then after that point, like Heaton says in her video, after that point it was, well, I didn't know she was going to use it for that.
Are these videos that were made on Heat and archived anywhere?
Yes. I can link them in the chat.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I would like to look through those later
Mm-hmm.
for possible video purposes. That is.
So the video belongs to Gwiz. This has been re-uploaded.
Yeah, I imagine they're a bunch of mirrors, but that's fine.
Yeah. So after this video came out, and it came to Gwiz's attention that Junkie wasn't telling the truth about the source and about that she was given permission. He did make a follow up, apologizing to Junkie, not Heaton, who is
Wait,
yeah.
why Junkie?
Your guess is as good as mine. I can't ask him because he just flat out disappeared after this.
From what I was
Okay.
told, and this one has to be a little bit off record because it splinters into a much bigger picture situation we're dealing with at the moment.
Oh, okay. That's fascinating.
Yeah, it's a big messy situation. I'm not gonna say like in terms of what
It
happened
always
to
is.
Heaton. In terms of what happened to Heaton in that situation, Junkie basically gave people who were specifically seeking to get Heaton for whatever reason they can a loaded gun to do so. And I wouldn't be surprised if Junkie didn't know that, but in that carelessness, those lies became amplified. I should make the addendum that Susie was not one of those people. At that time, she thought she was doing what she thought was right. It just happened to be Susie in our community has the biggest platform and is therefore one of the more respected members of our community. They patched things up.
That's good.
Susie and Heaton are
weird.
fine now.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around why. Why would Junkie want to do that?
Well,
I get the whole like, oh, I'm covering my ass thing, which is already like in and of itself kind of shitty, but I don't understand the whole
Why would he give the information to people?
Yeah, that's information that I was not relayed. I did not know that when I was going into my video initially. I thought it was a mostly backhand behind the scenes type thing.
It's so back that we're not even sure why he did it, because this behavior is different from his public one. For example, we have like on the initial video that started this whole thing, the second Fran video that Heaton did, we do have a screenshot of Junkie like commenting, all just like I mean, all she had to do, referring to Fran, was make a genuine apology, implying support.
Mm-hmm.
So let me link that.
Dope.
It's in
I'm just gonna save most of the things you guys send me because it'd be easier.
yeah.
Yeah.
So him going behind Heaton's back and doing all this, because it should stand to reason that at the time, Gwis and the other individuals were considered like high, it's like they were well regarded for their content. So their words had a lot of weight. So when one of them voiced a negative concern for the video, I assume that's why Junkie started doing all of this. But
So kind
this is
of
an
like
assumption. I don't
kind
have
of like a give me goodie points.
a little. I'm not sure
Like
if
your
it's
little
goody
It's
theory
points.
more.
there.
I think more he might have been worried that it would have come to him because even before Junkie said anything, they assumed that Heaton leaked private information.
Okay.
So all Junkie had to do was say, "No, I gave you permission to clear that up." And it's not like Junkie had any is like if Junkie didn't behave out of turn in the DMs themselves, as you know, you have those.
Yeah. I don't know
So
where they are anymore, but I could probably go to my video and find them. It's been
yeah,
a while. My memory's foggy on that.
yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
hmm And
Okay.
especially
This dates
considering,
back. That's weird.
mhm. So we have those. And the
Mm-hmm.
initial negative comment was deleted because shortly after Gwisman disappeared, the other individuals started cleaning up their part in all of this. So we don't have any. It's like
The
we're
most we
still.
have is uh admittance. However, we can't give you that admittance because it would potentially uh get in the way of a cuz off the record again.
We are
Okay.
trying. We're trying to keep as much under wraps as possible.
I
While
guess I'll find out at some point then.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be pleasant. Let me tell you. This isn't to keep you in the dark, and we're not faulting you for not knowing
Yeah.
this. Nobody could have.
Yeah.
It's a situation where like our those two communities did have overlaps, but they're still in their own selves, like unique things with unique like people and things happening.
Okay.
Like I'm sure there's stuff that happened in the community you used to be in that I have no idea about because they all happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah, like the fucking. I mean, I mentioned a few of them broadly in my video. The whole like Fagos Discord raids. Those were interesting.
Yeah.
All the Discord shit.
So we're
Yeah,
just
there's
trying.
a lot that goes on.
And if we need to talk about that, we'll be sure to ask you about it because common courtesy
I
and all
mean,
that good stuff. We're probably not going to, for the
you're
record.
probably not going to.
I'm
I
pretty
probably
sure
might
that's
not even
hard.
provide that much info because even then I wouldn't have much for you. It's in the past. I'm not too pressed about it, and I don't have anything anymore.
But common courtesy and all that. The last thing
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
do is like just go in head first and be caught with your pants down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
You guys are
Uh,
a little more meticulous about it than I am at times.
yeah. Yeah.
Obviously.
It's
Our
it's
community runs on just like your point is wrong and this is why it's wrong, so we have to be
Yeah.
yeah.
we have to cover our bases as much as possible.
I've been there. I remember.
Hmm. Yeah, I was going to do the same with like with Yo-Yo's video because like there was like I caught there were screenshots taken out of context. There was it's like some of the evidence that was shown was completely omitted from the pub from like nobody could have validated it. Like
Hmm.
like the screenshot they showed for you, for example, there was no context, there was no indication that anyone else knew, especially when the accusation was you were open, very much so, if about you being public. So shortly, you would have gotten more evidence than a DM conversation that nobody else would have.
Hmm.
You know, it's things like these, they don't seem like big deals at first, but there's like the more holes that start to form things that don't add up, it can completely warp an audience's perception of what
Oh,
actually
I'm
happened.
aware. I'm very aware of that. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
So, um,
I kind of see what you're getting at. I kind of like.
mhm.
Yeah.
So,
I'm a big thinker. Sorry if I don't speak too much.
You're good. You're
that's
good. You're
fine.
fine.
That's
I'm more
fine.
of a
It's a
sit
lot to
back,
take
listen,
into.
take it in kind of guy.
Hmm.
It's a lot to take in general, anyway. So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
because like,
like you're hearing this all like after the fact. We like me and Aaron dealt with it in real time. So,
Mm-hmm.
mhm. I was watching. It's like
Jeez.
I watched. There were. It's like the community was. I mentioned the computer. The community was practically on fire at that point, and like people were taking sides. People were. It's like man, it's like it's like people cried after all of this. Man, it was just nasty.
um, for me, I was put in this weird middle because I was friends with both groups. It was one of those situations where I had to just watch people I liked a lot and cared about just tear each other apart. It was the community was on fire, so it's a very generous way to say.
It always is.
Yeah,
I'm coming to realize.
yeah.
It always has been.
Mhm. Once every it's like once all of this gets resolved, it's going to be a huge weight lifted off of everyone's shoulders. We're trying to take care of it as tactfully as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I just I don't know. I find it fascinating that it dates so far back.
you, yeah, it,
There's a lot more going on than I realized.
mhm.
I
Well,
never really fully dipped my foot in. I had my knees in there, I'd say, but I was still kind of always on the edge of things, and I think that's how I was able to transition out of it so easily.
mhm.
Yeah. And I think especially
But
if you're
damn.
transition out, then being in as lightly as possible is pretty good.
Mhm. I still kind of dabble in it, obviously.
Yeah.
But you're not fully inverse in all of
No,
that.
I wasn't as I was before. I
Hmm.
wasn't. I had. Uh, we'll see. Is there anything in regards to like my video that you think
I think
needs to be re-looked over? I'd say.
a part of a thing that I kind of disagree. I'm gonna have to paraphrase your video. I'm sorry. I don't like doing
Mhm.
that. But there was a part when you showed the clip of Heaton's video where she said she didn't want Junkie's apology.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
in
yeah.
a way only Heaton can say it.
Your slimy
Where
bitch boy apology.
yeah. What could I say? I love her. But like you saw contention, I saw hot, but whatever.
To each
Yeah.
their own.
To each their own. I like the Amazon. What can I say? I think a point where I saw people like taking it in a way where it closed Junkie out from being able to come back and speak on the situation, which I inherently don't agree with, because in the video after the bitch boy apology thing, he instates specifically that she just wants him to take accountability, just to publicly admit what he did. Because by this point, because it's another thing that's spurned by another person.
So that's the thing. That's the thing about like what is it? The structure of it, that the message got conveyed that wasn't entirely what I was trying to convey. I was mostly like I said, focused on like the vitriol tone that Heaton was using. I'm very against that type of aggression when it comes to content creation, and I voiced that in other videos myself. And honestly, just extending that clip wouldn't have changed anything that I had to say, because I was mostly focusing on the insults more than anything.
You have to clarify that because the way when you said it, it sounded like it was all encompassing.
Okay. No, yeah, I see what you mean. I made the script and I said it in a way that I thought made sense, and obviously you read something different from it, and if that's the case, obviously other people might as well.
Because I mentioned in one of my paragraphs. Sorry about that, by the way. It was just a lot of information to convey.
Hello, welcome to
No, you're right.
AeronTempest.
Yeah, it's like typically I don't like long posting, but like with this I have to. Because I mentioned that there are a bunch of people who are already one of the reasons why the Fran video was starting to get attention was because of the tone. That's one of the reasons why the former individuals group didn't like the video and used the out of context screenshot as a ways of, making sure that it was just tone policing. You know what I'm saying? So to see the entire situation repeat like that, it's.
In my opinion, tone is pretty important when it comes to conveying.
That is true. That is true in some circumstances. We have but just addressing the tone in and of itself is not it's not a proper refutation of someone's point.
Especially since in like this regard, it's caused people to shift. And I know one could argue that, well, she should have just, if she didn't use that tone, it wouldn't happen anyway. But people are starting to shift after your video, and people are starting to shift the attention away from the fact Junkie did something to how Heaton's talking, which in itself is a problem, because it's shifting the situation from this person did something wrong to this victim isn't behaving in a certain way for us to take it. Because Heaton, in all intents and purposes, is a victim of this situation.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. This is like something similar to what Aaron said the other day.
We do share a brain cell.
What was the fucking what was it? How did you say it? This victim is.
It's not... like it becomes less of the perpetrator as being held accountable and more like the victim should be a better victim.
Yeah, that's what you said. A victim should be a better victim. Yeah, that one would kind of like threw me out of a whack. I was like, damn, okay.
Because like
that makes it sound really bad.
It's not something that you inherently think of, but it's something that you have to be considerate of when you're talking about somebody who is effectively opening up and opening up and talking about a very emotionally vulnerable time in their life.
I think the issue is with the disconnect I have with this community mostly. Like I've been through something similar through this community, and I look back down at this community and I see it as just a bunch of pointless war zones. So when I jumping into this video, I kind of ran into it a little pig-headed as like everything's just stupid. So I didn't really think too much
I
on
think
the.
another thing, and I'm not specifically singling you out. I see this as a commonplace
Man, I
for a
don't care
lot of
if you
people.
do.
So no, because I don't want to be mean. A lot of people, because when like Aaron and I talk about our community and we were referencing Heaton and things going up in flames, we're specifically talking about the slideshow commentary community, which is like in itself a very niche community. Like we do have people like Ponder, who's now seen more in like different circles or as part of different things, and we do have Susie, who's gained like a notoriety. But when you
Mhm.
like get outside of like those two individuals, it's people like me, Aaron, Heaton, and like a bunch of other people you've probably like never heard of. So when Heaton talks about like her career being like destroyed and people who she looked up to like losing respect for her, she's talking about like a group of people that she became like friends with and like grew close to, because it's small. Like 50% of our community, not even 50, like 99% of our community is in a single server. Like we can fit in a single server, everybody could talk in that, we could
Yeah.
all be in like a voice call, and it wouldn't get that out of whack so long as nobody's talking over each other.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
it's small enough that if somebody new came in, we'd like immediately know.
Yeah.
We just figured out someone new came in too.
Because
Oh,
that's the thing, because like people will like see us and like they might think of like the art commentary community, or they might think of like art ranting or drama, but most of the times
I think
there are
it's a
times when
little
we do talk
different.
about drama. Most of the time we talk about Pokemon.
Yeah.
So when he was like mentioning that like she lost friends, she was more talking about people like Boon Slayer more than Savdraws, if you catch
Yeah.
my drift.
She's talking about
Yeah.
like Susie more, or me. Well, she didn't lose me, but you get an idea more than I don't know any like the axolotl guy or you,
Axolotl.
that
Okay.
guy. Like Ponder
Mhm.
and Susie did serve as our like bridging between your communities, but outside of that, Ponder especially, but outside of that, we're very divorced from each other.
In fact, one of the few times we overlapped was during your situation. A lot of us were trying to figure out, yo, what the heck is going on here? Because it was our turn to be the outsiders looking in. So
And
we
we
had
only
to do.
we only
Yeah.
really knew about it because of people like Ponder. Because
Huh.
Ponder really did serve as that like bridging, because Ponder is very art heavy, so she's able to look at that stuff in a way that we wouldn't have been able to.
This is a little bit separate than what I've. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Junkie is also a bridge. I think I've noticed.
Yeah, and like we met Junkie coincidentally through Ponder.
I've been grouping all of you guys together.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
Don't
like,
worry, it happens a lot because we're very, very niche, and a lot of times we don't say the full phrase slideshow commentary community.
and other
Because,
people like to
Yeah.
throw in their own terms and mix and make it confusing.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
EOCC, Alt CC,
The malt CC, if you want to get really technical.
Uh,
the people that
the
use the dog and Rompa avatar.
the whole freaking construction of the communities in and of itself could be a fucking video.
Yeah, so
That's why. That's why.
That might actually be a fascinating one.
I made
Actually.
a video
Oh.
on a former member. I guess it would be of your community. I don't really know them that well. Their name
What
is
was their
Box and
name?
Box.
I'm familiar with the name. I've never really spoken to them.
They were speaking to Heaton about the situation coincidentally, doing a like, if you feel bad, don't worry. They did infinitely worse. They full on just blamed Heaton for everything.
I don't feel like I've done wrong. I just feel like I went in a little insensitive, and that's on me.
That's why I said, like, if you ever think like, if you're like, oh dang, I really like, I kind of screwed the pooch. Don't worry. At one point, they told Heaton that she dodged a bullet by getting kicked out of like by leaving the CC and having her career
Yeah.
ruined, her budding career ruined because of what Junkie did. But because she said the CC was toxic, and they said it was toxic and garbage and all this other stuff, and that's the thing we hear a lot. Because they're usually talking about either the one they were in or like the umbrella term of the commentary community. Because like even if you broke that down, I'm sure, like, you know, technically Leafy was a commentator. I don't think you would say that he does the same thing Ponder does. And Ponder was a commentator, or is, on hiatus.
Yeah, Ponder's on a different level.
Yeah. It's in the same vein that something Aaron and I do wasn't the same thing that really like Savs Draws did, or Yo-Yo did, or even fucking Simply Dad.
That name brings many different emotions. One of them being humor.
Varric is like, you know what? Fair.
No, we used to back when we were all friends. We used to actually just make him a living meme. It was so funny.
Oh, yeah.
Why does that track within every community I've seen him in, though?
God. The more things change,
me and D'Angelo would joke about the guy constantly. It was kind of funny.
Bruh, the more things change, the more things stay the same.
Yeah.
Man. At least we can bond on that one. Simply Dad's a meme.
Yeah.
No matter where he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can look into some of the things you guys sent me here. Maybe do a follow-up, but I'm not sure how.
I would highly suggest you do you do one. If you need help, we're available. We can help as much as we can.
I do enjoy working with people on my videos. This was one of the rare occasions where I worked on a video alone, and a lot of the times I end up making some mistakes when I do that, as you can see. But
when you speak about dramas about where multiple people are involved, it's best to like ask them, like as we're doing here now.
Yeah.
I remember typically it's not a common practice because like some of the stuff we talk about, it's like your countdown, your criteria just doesn't match up, you know, so we don't really go to people.
I jumped into this video with a little bit of a different kind of premise or focus. As opposed to focusing on a singular drama, I kind of focused on a embodiment of the community as it's continued.
You wanted to do a retrospective.
Because of that, I wanted to do kind of a retrospective. So, and because of that, I kind of jumped into it a little bit more hazy than my previous videos.
Well, with retrospective specifically, you need to make sure that you had everything because you are now operating on it happened. So you have as long as the people are around, you have people you can talk to make sure that you have the correct narrative because, as you know, as any history buff will tell you, what we assumed happened. There are other angles to look at and other perspectives to take in.
Okay.
Well,
so I will let
you guys know if I start working on a script. It is Christmas, and I'm not really going to be doing much
enjoy
working.
Your Christmas.
No. But
we do not.
I might hit you guys up.
Yeah. So we're just trying. It's like we're trying to make sure we bridge the gap and make sure that that this thing doesn't spiral out of control. Because if somebody tries to do what another thing of like what Box of Fox has done, no, it's like it's gonna get
me in on the Box of Fox thing.
Well,
if you don't mind at some point.
Another time. You said because
I'm about to get ready to leave soon. Yeah.
Oh, but there's one quick question I wanted to ask.
Yes.
Like if it were possible, like if she wants to, because I don't want to like just offer her up in general. If she feels comfortable doing it, would you want to talk to Heaton about this?
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, Spoctor. I brought the possibility up. So it's a matter of if Heaton would like to speak about it. But right now,
Consequently, Heaton's also just going through a lot in general. So
Yeah,
I don't think.
I told Aaron the same thing. I'd
Mhm.
prefer if it stayed kind of like on a calmer level, because when voices begin to raise, I kind of start to back
down.
up and just kind of not shut down. I like back up and I'm just gonna let you
Go off.
steam. You know, I'm gonna let you
Mhm.
steam, and then
Yeah, and it's not even like mainly because like when I spoke to Heen about it for when briefly, like she felt hurt that you didn't come to her first before going into all
yeah,
this, you
I
know.
mean that's on me. That's on me.
Mm-hmm. So
Hopefully, I
which
can rectify that if I work on a follow up, which I'm likely going to. So
mm-hmm,
if that's the case, I would like to work with Heaton on it.
mm-hmm.
If you could let her know that.
We'll do. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for speaking with us. I do hope you enjoy your holidays.
Yes, you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
You guys take care. I'm gonna get going.
You do too.
Yeah.
Anything else before I head out?
Yeah, that's good. I
That's
think we're
fair.
good.
Yeah,
Enjoy
yeah.
your
All right, you guys. Happy
Take care.
holidays.
Happy
Take care.
holidays. That was nice.
Mm-hmm.